Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I'm going to do a fitness video today because I am eating Cheerios. That's right. I wanted to tell you about something I'm trying out because I want to set a PR on my run tomorrow. So if you don't like fitness and nutrition, you might want to turn off the channel now. Skip to the next video. But if you do, you might want to check out my playlist on fitness and the like. I am doing something I haven't done before. So I'm experimenting with this. I'm telling you the before. Maybe I'll tell you the after. Maybe I'll record this and I won't. Let's do that. How about I'll give you the after? I'll give you the results of what happened. But I'm recording the first part now before I've actually done the experiment, so that this is like real life TV. Okay, this is like reality show. All right. So here's the thing. I run some half marathons. I'm going to be running a marathon on June 4th. I'm running a half marathon tomorrow morning in San Diego around the Bay. I forgot what it's called, like San Diego Beach and Bay half marathon, first one. And as you can see, I've run quite a few half marathons. I have a PR of, I believe it is 157. Let me see. Which, you know, I know that's not good, okay? It is 157.33. I know that, you know, but I am 225 pounds, so I'm pretty happy with that time for that. It's in under 2 hours for a half marathon. And, but I've done it fasted, and I run fasted. So basically when I go out to run, I usually run about 40 miles a week, and I only eat one meal a day. Check out the video on why I only eat one meal a day if you haven't already, if that might blow your mind, but I basically run completely fasted. My performance is probably not optimal. Now I've tried, I'm not fully ketogenic. I do more of a carbing cycling diet. I'll talk about this more when I finally reveal my fitness and diet program, which I'm still working on, but yeah, I'm still tweaking it myself because I want to have this shit down, right? I'm still not 100% happy with the results yet, but they're good. They're damn good. They're better than anything I've ever tried. So I typically will, I'm not so on keto, so fat adapted that I can just run totally on fat. Although, I mean, I can do it. I make it fasted, right? But what I'm saying is that I'm probably not as performant. So I've got a theory. I want to hit a PR. I want to try actually hit a 145 half marathon. Now, I don't know if that will be possible tomorrow. I'm gonna aim for it. I'm gonna aim for 8.5 minute miles at the worst, and at the best 8-minute miles, which would put me at a 145. So in doing that, I'm thinking, okay, I need to optimize my nutrition. Like what, you know, forget about the fasting thing for now. What is going to be best? What will work best? And, you know, I've been on the fence on this because I think that if I train enough fasted that I could be just as performant, but maybe not, because I'm not really improving a whole lot now in my running. Not that that's like a super goal for me, but I'd like to hit those numbers. So all that is to say, what I am doing today is I'm eating Cheerios. I'm carbing up. I'm doing an actual carb load. The first time I've ever done a carb load before a race or before a run, and I'm going to be eating probably around, I'm going to try to hit about 4,000 calories of carbohydrates in this 24-hour period. I started a little late, started at lunchtime, so I probably won't hit quite as many, but I'm basically trying to cut fat as much as possible, minimal protein, and eat as many carbohydrates. Totally different than my normal diet, but we'll see what happens. And then I'll be taking some gels during the race, which is something I've never done before either, and I want to see what will happen. Will I be able to run an 8.5? You know, there's a couple other variables in here, unfortunately. Like every time I try to test something, there's always, it's also always a multi-variable problem, but some of the other variables are that I had really high heart rate in the last week when I was running because I trained really hard. The last Sunday, what I did was I lifted for 2 hours and then ran for 2 hours right afterwards. The reason why is because I was traveling, and you know, there's a long story, but that really took a toll on me. And then this last week I did some nasty ass hill runs and didn't get much sleep. So all in all, my recovery is not quite the best. I did a 4-mile run yesterday, and my Garmin Garmin watch said that my recovery time was 4 days. So not the best of conditions, but if I'm super performant tomorrow, if I do hit my goals, right, then I will know that running with the carbs and carbing up is definitely the way to go. Now, some of you that are experienced runners are going to say, yeah, obviously that's what people have been doing for a long time. But, you know, I always tell you guys, test shit on yourself, right? So I'm testing it here. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. So there you go. I will let you know after my race what happens. Take care.
All right, I made it, but I did not hit a 145. Did not hit a 150. I hit, I think, about a 153, maybe slightly under. So I hit a new PR by a big amount, but I basically failed. I'll call this a fail because my carbing up idea, no. I'll talk more about it when I get home, but yeah, got the medal, got it finished. It was death. Hardest run I've done, my fault, not because the race is hard. I finished the race, like I said. My official chip time was a new PR, so that was good. It was 1:53 and 11 seconds, so I'm pretty happy with that. An hour, 53 minutes, 11 seconds. I was aiming for 1:45, so I actually screwed this up pretty badly. So I talked about the nutrition on it, trying to carb up. That was probably bad. I didn't feel any extra energy. So I've been training a lot since then. So some of the problems, like if you know, thinking back now, what happened here, it definitely, like I said, the carbing up did not work. I carbed up mostly yesterday, you know, and had something to eat this morning. Normally I run completely fasted. I had some goos, some energy stuff, packets on the run, which again, I didn't really see any kind of major benefit from it. I was wiped the whole race. Now, some of it was that I was sort of overtrained. I was not recovered. I was not ready for this race. I had just done some intense workouts the previous week. In fact, last Sunday I did, you know, that's 6 days ago, I did a 2-hour lifting workout followed by a 2-hour run, basically a 2-hour lifting workout followed by a 12-mile run because I was traveling. So, and then I did a lot of hill work this last week. Not intentionally, but it was where I was at. So I was not in very good shape. In fact, you know, for this run. In fact, I did, let's see, was it? Today's Saturday, so Thursday, I did a 4-mile run, just 4 miles, and I was in red zone heart rate, like in the maximum heart rate zone for the entire run, running at a very slow pace, like 11-minute miles. So what ended up today was around, I think it was at 8:30 or something pace, or maybe a little bit slower than that, somewhere around between 8:30 and 8:40 overall, which again, pretty good. Like I'm pretty happy about that. It's a new PR for me. But I made some big errors in this. So I learned about the carbing up. It's not worth doing for me when I'm fat adapted. I'm gonna continue to run fasted. I feel like that is better. It's been working better for me. I feel better. I don't feel as bloated, and I didn't see any major benefit. I wanted to try this out though, to see if I would get a major boost in my running from doing that. But I was running today, I mean, just hanging on for dear life in the red zone the whole time. Basically, if you're familiar with heart rates, my max heart rate for this run was 208, okay? And I was basically around the 180s to 190s the entire run. Very, very little of the run was not in that zone, so it was a killer effort for me. I was pushing pretty much as hard as I could. I consider it, I mean, I'm happy with it, but I consider it a failure in what I was attempting to do. Like I said, the nutrition was off. That was stupid. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that, you know, but hey, I tried it out. I will not carb up for runs anymore. I will be fasting and doing maybe a slight carb or something like that, but definitely not before the run. And I may bring some goos during the run. That may help, especially when I do the full marathon. Now, I have run a full marathon completely fasted before, but I don't know where I'm sitting at right now, so I haven't made a complete decision on that yet. But the other big mistake, so there's a few big mistakes. So the first one was nutrition. The second one I would say is not being ready for this. Like I said, what I did last weekend, and I probably should have taken an extra day off. I did lift pretty heavy yesterday too for 2 hours, but I did not lift legs this week, so that was at least smart. But I started out on this race totally wrong. So I learned another big important lesson, which was I thought I was going to go for a 145. So I got in the 145 pace group, and I got... Oh, dropped my phone. I got in the 145 pace group, and I got behind the 145 pacer, and I stuck with the 145 pacer. He was kind of a dick, but I stuck with him for about 4 miles in, like 3 or 4 miles, and then we hit this hill. So we were basically running like 750 pace, which is way faster than my normal pace, right? That's like a, I mean, I've run, my fastest 5K time was like a 720 pace. So I was running, you know, 740, 750, and oh man, I'm 220 pounds. That's the other thing with nutrition real quick. So what was stupid with the carbing up was before I carbed up, I was weighing 213 pounds. After carbing up in one day, I was like, when I weighed in this morning, I was about 225. So I gained over 10 pounds. That hurt me for my run. It was not worth, even if I had a little bit of extra energy, it wasn't worth carrying around an extra 10 pounds. That was just stupidity. So yeah, not a good choice. But hey, I learned a lesson, right? You know? So okay, so I stuck with the 145 pacer until we hit this hill, and I was just dying. I almost dropped out of the race at that point because it was horrible at 750. But I kept going. I kept pushing, and yeah, but I could not. I had to let him go. I had to let the 145 pacer go, and then I was wiped out for the rest of the race. Pretty soon the 150 pacer passed me around like mile 8 or 9, and I was just hanging on for dear life, just pushing as hard as I could for the last couple of miles. And that last mile, the last mile I had a negative split. It was weird. I did not have negative splits on this in general, but the last mile was faster than the previous like 2 or 3 miles. So it was a mess of a race. I totally screwed up the race, but I learned some good lessons, right? So if I would have aimed for a 150, I would have made it. I'm pretty sure. But the 145 was just too damn aggressive coming out of the gate that fast. I should have aimed for negative splits. So that was just a big mistake there. And like I said, nutrition was a big mistake. If I would have done this right, I would have probably just, I might have even been able to do the 145, but I would have needed to do negative splits. I should have came out of the gate running like an 8:10 and did that for the first 3 or 4 miles, and then had negative splits and run like 750 or 740 if I was able to do it after like mile 5, you know, to the finish. But that could have possibly put me at 145, but realistically, I should have been going for a 150, and so then my pace would have been needed to be like, you know, 8:10, 8:20, which I think I could have maintained. Whereas what I did was it was just nuts. It was crazy, and like I said, my heart rate was, oh gosh, it was in the max zone pretty much the entire run. So it was brutal. It was pretty flat course, so the course was not bad. The race itself, it wasn't not anything like the La Jolla one. You can check out the video I did on the La Jolla half. That was a crazy, just nasty course, but. Also, you might be wondering, why is there no video of the actual run? One of my friends was actually pretty smart when he said you probably would get a better PR if you didn't stop to take video during the run. So I thought, okay, yeah, since I'm going for PR for this one, maybe not the best thing to like pull out my phone and slow down and take some video. Maybe just focus on the race. So there you go. There you have it. There's my experiment. You know, some of you probably are going to disagree and say, hey, no, you should carb up for a race. I know that that's what most people advise, but I think also there's another side of it too. The people who run on fat and run fasted, and that's the category that I fall into. I've been training to do that, and so messing with my nutrition on the day before a race, not trying in practice, not a good idea. It was not very smart at all. But hey, I got a new PR. I knocked down my PR from, was it 157 to about, was it 153.11. So I'm pretty happy about that. The next one I'll be aiming for is 150, and then eventually hit that 145 like I have for my goal. But I'm pretty happy, like I said, at 225 pounds to be able to knock out a 153 and a half, and we'll see what happens. So there you go. That's my recap and my little experiment. Hope that was valuable to you if you're running, and congratulations to some of you. I know I've been seeing some of you saying you've done your first half marathon. You know, thanks to what I've been telling you on this channel, and that's cool. That's encouraging to me. So congratulations to you. If you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button. I'll talk to you next time.